markings of a jack. And it's blooming cold, and I've not had a touch. Long shot today, turns out. Straight into another long shot tomorrow. Wish me luck. Family and I, we're off to get a fish supper to finish the job off. Right, that's us fishing. Good morning, welcome back to the diary, and welcome back to the Highlands of Scotland. A long planned trip, this one. The intent, when I was thinking about what to do this time round, I thought I'd do things that I haven't done for a long time, or haven't ever done. And so I was planning on bringing the feeder rods and baits and the fly rod, and I was hoping that I'd get a chance to try for a perch or trout, or perhaps even an Arctic char from one of these big locks using the feeder gear. And I organised a day on my favourite hill lock to see if we could get a brown trout on the fly rod. However, best laid plans. Chatting to a few of my pike fishing acquaintances, a lot of them were saying the same thing, and that was that the pike had spawned quite early this year. In fact, 3 weeks ago, one of my pals sent me a video from one of the locks he fishes of the pike actually spawning. And as I say, that was 3 weeks ago. So they were early, or they are early this year. And so I had a quick rethink, and as you've already seen, I thought I'd try for a post-spawning pike. Yeah, a lot of you will recognise where I am. This is one of the spots that I fish regularly. The main feature I have here is a weed bed, and if the pike are coming off the back of spawning, as they seem to be, they may still be hanging around in the weed bed. So I thought I'd start here. I do actually have a stretch of canal I could fish. I say I could fish. It's in the front garden, basically, of the accommodation we're staying in, and it would be sort of rude not to put a bait in and just see what happens. But that's a long shot. So first day, see if we can get a pike. In fact, tomorrow I'm on the hill lock. I corresponded with the estate manager just the other day, and he's kindly let me onto the hill lock. So trout fishing tomorrow. Let's see how we get on today first, though. Well, that didn't take very long. That's one of the brown trout baits. Excuse me. It's away. Got something. Now the weed bed's intervened. Well, that's a bit of a blow. No, I think I probably lost the fish as well. That's snagged. I'll be back in a minute. Well, I got it free, but needless to say, without the fish. I thought I was gonna get off to a racing start there. Hey ho. Not sure. There's all the markings of a jack. I have a sneaking suspicion it's a jack. The weed bed again. Few head shakes. Oh. Oh my goodness. So much for me being a jack. Well, here's me saying it's a jack. What do you make of that? Not a bad fish, yeah? £22.5. What can you say? How wonderful is that? And it got its own back a bit, I'm afraid. Let's get it back. Other way, mate. Wow. Well, you couldn't make that up. Well, what do you make of that then? That was a bit special. £22.5. So if that had been full of spawn, 25, maybe even 26. Lovely fish. Really high backed, or almost humpy backed, if that's not being unkind. And I was absolutely convinced that was a jack. When I picked the rod up, I could feel it not typical jack bite, but it got bigger and bigger the nearer it got. I think I probably made a bit of a mess of filming the netting, but so I apologise for that. But it, as I say, it came as a bit of a shock when I realised that it was a decent fish. And that's only been fishing 3 hours, so a drop run, or drop one off in the weeds, and a 22.5. Can't complain really. Well, after this morning's early excitement, it's gone very, very quiet. It's also, the breeze has dropped. It's absolutely flat calm by Highland standards. It's a very pleasant day. I was just thinking earlier though, the rods went out with a lamprey on one rod and brown trout on the other two. And the two rods that have gone off so far were both the brown trout. Now, my banker bait up here has always been lamprey. I think I might have to review that opinion. Perhaps give the brown trout more of an opportunity. Fortunately, it's something I've got plenty of. Morning, and I made it to the hillock. I have to say I had to sit down for 20 minutes, get my breath back, but we got here. Not sure how successful we may be today. There's a very cold breeze blowing. And I've been fishing about 15 minutes or so, but never seen anything move, nothing rise. So It may be hard work today, I think. Nice place to be though. Right, well, I've been at this for 2 hours now and it's blooming cold and I've not had a touch and I've not seen anything move either. So it's beginning to feel very much like hard work, and I've decided discretion is the better part of valour. And I'm going to fish my way back to the path and then head back for home. Probably about a month too soon, I suspect. Right, hello again. So, a troutless and frankly uncomfortable day on the hill lock yesterday. I think I said just a bit too early perhaps. The conditions, the cold wind, it was Baltic as they say. And so today is a first for me. In all the years and years, over 30 odd years I guess, that I've been coming to the Highlands, I've never tried the feeder gear and feeder fishing on the big locks. When I first started coming up, it was for the trout and salmon. The last 20 odd years it's been, as a lot of you will have seen, it's been the pike. But I thought I'd have a go at seeing what else I can catch using tactics that I would perhaps use more normally when I'm at home. On this lock, the official fish list is the inevitable trout and passing salmon on the way elsewhere, perch, Arctic char, and of all things, rainbow trout. And big rainbow trout, from a bit of a disaster many years ago when one of the fish farms down at the other end of the lock was wiped out in a storm, and ever since then the occasional rainbow trout shows up. Oh, and of course eels and perhaps ferox trout. So take your pick. I would like a perch, quite frankly. I've never had a Highland perch, understandably, because I've never fished for them. So a perch would be nice. Tactics, well, I'm using window feeders, 35 gram window feeders, because I'm having to fish at some distance. Baits, worms, chopped worms, and worm hook bait, with maggots and ground bait. And I've been fishing now for sort of 40 minutes and neither rod tip's moved. It could be one of those days. It could turn out to be not the best idea I've ever had. Well, that's a blank, but something's had me worm. Probably not bother doing that again. Save the big locks for the pike. See you tomorrow. Okay, here we are again, and obviously made the canal Didn't have far to travel this time. That's the cottage we're staying in on the right hand side there. And I've even managed to convince my better half, and she's trying to remember how to use the lure rod. So it's it's a family affair this morning. Whether we catch anything's another matter altogether, because as I said to you yesterday, there's a lot changed since the last time I fished here, and it may not all be changed for the good, if you know what I mean. Still, we can only try. And as I say to you many times, anything exciting and I'll be straight back. Well, that's it. Another trip to the Highlands draws to an end. I've enjoyed it, needless to say. In terms of the fishing, it got off to the best possible start on the Monday, but then sort of fizzled out a bit in terms of catch results for the rest of the week. But it's made up for fishing in some really lovely places. Of course, it's always nice to get a fish, but and as I say, the one we got on the first day was a little bit special. So me, or the family, and I, we're off to get a fish supper to finish the job off. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.